There is a Tennessee congressman named Andy Ogles, who is a male version or a wannabe version of Marjorie Taylor Greene. He is stupid. He is cocksure, confident in his positions. He is a walking manifestation of the psychological concept that has been dubbed Dunning-Kruger. The people who are least knowledgeable about a topic, who have the least expertise, feel the most confident in their stranglehold on their positions in that particular discipline. Andy Ogles is this. Andy Ogles, I'll talk about some things that he has proposed of late, but I want to talk about this, which is a move to absolutely undermine our judicial system to give cover for Donald Trump. It's obstruction of justice through legislative control. And he was on with Maria Bartiromo, the same woman who brought us the election conspiracy from a woman who said that the wind tells her she's a ghost, but she doesn't believe it. She had Andy Ogles on to talk about it. Now, I don't know whether to play the clip or to read a little bit about this from the New Republic. We'll just play the clip. Let's do that. And then I'll read a couple of lines here. And then we'll talk about some of the other things he's done that are just bombastic idiocy. It's just attention seeking. It's just, look at me, Daddy Trump. Look at me. I'm doing good things. Ugh. Watch Maria Bartiromo and Andy Ogles.
Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles also attended the Trump trial last week. He's now introducing the Let Trump Speak Act. It prohibits judges from issuing gag orders to defendants in any criminal or civil proceedings, with some exceptions. Joining me now, the man himself, Tennessee Congressman Andy Ogles. He's a member of the House Freedom Caucus and the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, tell us about this bill. Good morning to you.
Good morning. And what this bill does is it creates a prohibition on these gag orders that are clearly politically motivated and a right of action. So he could sue because his rights are being violated. And so with that, we were there. You could tell that this trial is nothing more than a political witch hunt. And so enough is enough. Trump should be acquitted. He should be back on the campaign trail. And that's it. They're trying to keep Trump off of the campaign trail and keeping him tied up in court.
Well, what about where we are in the trial right now? I mean, it looks like we're close to closing arguments. How do you think this plays out?
Well, I'd like to think, when you're looking at body language, that you're going to have a fair-minded jury, that they're going to look at the evidence. The defense did a great job of putting Cohen in a box and clearly really disassembled his testimony and his credibility. So they really don't have any other choice but to acquit. So cross your fingers, hope that due process does what it's supposed to do and that Trump's acquitted.
Body language. Well, if you pay attention to body language, not a science, nonsense. But let's get off the body language thing. One of the things that irritates me most about certainly Fox News and their propaganda outlet here, but is that there's no question at all, no concern at all for how will this legislation impact the justice system from a wider angle. Let's take a 30,000-foot view of this, Representative Ogles. How will this impact trials that are going on across the country, all over the nation? How will this impact them? You are only concerned about how this will impact Donald Trump and how you can interfere in Donald Trump's particular trial and his accountability project, him getting held accountable and having consequences for his myriad crimes. You're only concerned about that. You're not concerned about actually protecting and giving support for the justice system, the law and order party. Here's a headline from the New Republic. Republican representative moves to undermine judicial system. On Trump's behalf, Representative Andy Ogles has filed a bill to lift the gag order in Trump's hush money trial. The Republican show of force at Donald Trump's hush money trial over the week has culminated in a formal effort to get the U.S. legislature to intervene in the process of the judiciary system. Representative Andy Ogles introduced legislation Thursday to undermine the partial gag order imposed on the GOP presidential nominee. Trump is prohibited, and see, this is it. This is what they want to allow Trump to be able to do, because Trump is not, his constitutional rights are not being violated. All the gag order says is you can't attack the judge's family, the prosecutor's family. You can't impugn or intimidate witnesses. You can't impugn or intimidate jury members. It's standard stuff. Donald Trump in no way is prohibited from talking about politics. He's not prohibited from campaigning. He's not prohibited from going on the campaign trail and lying repeatedly, time after 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 fucking time. None of that. He's just not allowed to intimidate people. But that's too much for Republicans. Trump is prohibited from publicly disparaging court staff, prosecutors, jurors, witnesses, or their family members during the course of the trial. That's it. Ogles' bill, called the Let Trump Speak Act, would severely restrict the limitations a gag order can place on a defendant, effectively undoing Trump's order and preventing judges in future criminal or civil proceedings from reining him in with a gag. The act would also allow Trump to sue judges who gag him. Ogles claimed on Real America's Voice. Now, you'll remember Andy Ogles from just a few weeks ago when he was quoted as telling an activist that what he thinks we should do with the Palestinian people is kill them all. He said, you know what? So I think we should kill them all if that makes you feel better. Another bill that he introduced was this one to send any college protesters who are convicted of crimes to do community service in Gaza. So college protesters who are arrested for protesting the genocide of the Palestinian people, Andy Ogles' plan is to send them to where the genocide is taking place. Brilliant. Brilliant. This is the bill here. To require a person convicted of unlawful activity on the campus of an institution of higher education beginning on and after October 7, 2023, to provide community service in Gaza. This is effectively outlawing the First Amendment, you know, the free speech party, the First Amendment party. This act may be cited as the Anti-Semitism Community Service Act, says the supporter of Donald Trump, Mr. Unified Reich. Any person convicted of unlawful activity on the campus of an institution of higher learning beginning on or blah, 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 shall be assigned to Gaza. The government of the United States is going to assign a private citizen to a foreign country. It's effectively deportation of citizens. Anyway, we are in a very tight spot in America with the Republican Party, the Unified Reich Party, who now wants to send protesters who are just exercising their free speech rights in this country, to send them to a war zone where the people of Palestine are being systematically targeted and murdered by the Israeli government. And Andy Ogles, a self-described Christian, by the way, member of a particular flavor of Christianity that is a death cult that only seeks to protect Israel, to bring on what they believe to be the rapture, where Jesus comes back in the sky and rescues them all and ushers them to heaven. I don't know if he has a pre-tribulation rapture view or a post-tribulation rapture view, but maybe I'm getting a little in the weeds with their nonsense. All to prop up the candidacy and ensure the re-election of a man who wants to unify the next Reich, who wants to be a dictator on day one. Who wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States of America, the same Constitution that protects the right of college students to protest. What do you think? I'd love to know. We can talk about it in the comments. You can tell I'm a little frustrated today, more than usual. That's, I guess, just an occupational hazard. You can call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I really would love to hear from you, despite my angry demeanor today. I think it's understandable. Unified right guy going nuts. Media covering for him. Assholes like this trying to obstruct justice under the guise of their legislative duty. Stop electing stupid people, Tennessee. If you want to help support my work, I would appreciate it very much. $2 a month, you can become a channel member and support independent media. Very important, more important now than ever before. You can also go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Help support my work there. Same deal, $2 a month. If you have it in you, if you're on a fixed income or you're on Social Security or a VA pension, do not worry about supporting. You can subscribe and share these videos. That is awesome. But if you do have an extra $2, please consider it. I would appreciate it. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. Again, it's a nightmare. I'm not suggesting you do it, but if you're there, I'm there too, at Dollemore. I'd love to see you. I appreciate you. I love you for your engagement. Thank you very much. Thanks for your passion and wanting to change this country and by extension, the world, and make it a better place. Be genuine. Take care of one another.